Ashleigh. The time is 1954, graduation day and 15th anniversary of Bethune-Cookman College. The setting is Mary Bethune's office at Bethune-Cookman College in Daytona Beach, Florida.
The graduation exercise will begin in a little more than an hour. All the students are already lined up in front of the auditorium.
Oh, Bertha, this isn't work. I'm having the time of my life reading these wonderful letters from my friends all over the world. It's hard to believe we've been running this college for 50 years.
We're going to have lovely weather for today's graduation. There's not a cloud in sight.
I've been giving some thought to having this year's program outside. But then I remember what happened on our 35th anniversary.
Wasn't that the year Miss Eleanor Roosevelt came to be our guest speaker?
How could I forget? We had hundreds of chairs set up on the campus line, and as soon as she stood up to speak, it started raining.
What I'll never forget is how you walked up to Miss Roosevelt's side and held the umbrella over her head while she gave her entire address.
But she didn't see me glaring at that audience, daring them to move from their seats.
I can laugh about that rainy graduation day now, but I certainly didn't feel like laughing then.
I was thinking back to the time when you first started working here as my secretary. Booker T. Washington paid his first visit to our school that same year. It was in 1908.
I remember it very well, Mary.
I'm afraid you didn't have much faith in me or my dreams at that time. You were embarrassed because we only had one building to show Mr. Washington.
And that wasn't even finished. If only Mr. Washington could see it now, a four-year college with 19 buildings.
Don't stand there looking as if you're here to meet the enemy, young lady. Everyone is welcome here.
Miss McCloud, why didn't you come straight home as I told you? We've got a lot of work to do.
Thomas left his jacket here and came back to get it. Please don't be angry with him.
Go on home now. I'll be there in a minute.
Yes, sir.
I pretend you're putting all those useless notions in my son's head. Now, instead of working on the farm, he wants to become a doctor.
Mr. Hill, I think you're being unfair to Miss McCloud.
I knew Mary McCloud's friends before she was born. They're not ashamed to be farmers.
I am proud of when my parents had a chance, and they encouraged me to go to school and become a teacher.
Maybe Sam Cleo let his daughter have her way. My son's gonna be a farmer, and that's fine.
Mr. Hill, is it fair to force your son to be something that he doesn't want to be?
I'm a lot older than you, young lady. I've raised 5 children besides Tom. I've got a lot more experience than you in these matters.
Your son has an excellent mind, Mr. Hill, and he wants to use it to the best of his ability.
This is 1896. Mary McCloud and a black youngster can break his heart fighting the eye. You may not think so, but I love my son. I don't want to see him hurt.
It says you both want the best of timing. At least that's a starting point.
I've got no quarrel with you, Miss Wilson. You've been the kind of teacher Maysville can be proud of. We need more teachers like you and fewer troublemakers.
Mary McCloud is a good teacher. In fact, I plan on let her take my place as a permanent teacher when I retire.
What are you doing here, Tom?
I have something to tell you, Papa.
It can wait. Your mother will be needing your help at home.
But I have to tell you now.
Is there something I can do, Thomas?
No, Miss McCloud. I decided to quit school right away.
What kind of foolish talk is that? You can't stop going to school. I won't hear of it.
But Papa, you said you didn't want me to go to school.
I said no such thing. I said I want you to be a farmer. And farmers need to know as much as they can. They have to run a business.
All right, Papa. I'll do as you say. But don't blame Miss McCloud. She was only trying to help.
Tom, son, wait. Never saw my boy look so hurt before. All his spirit seems to be gone.
Maybe I can talk to him.
I I didn't mean to do this to him.
Mr. Hill, how many of your children are still living at home?
3. Tom's the youngest and the smartest, I have to admit.
Mayfield, our little school can only hold so many students, and many families in Mayfield are quite large. I plan to ask parents to let me teach their students their youngest year round.
Only the youngest?
I promise to let the others stay and work the farm. And maybe someday we'll have a school big enough for all the children.
You're one far late, Miss McLeod. I guess I can't refuse your offer, since we'll be left with 2 kids to help out with Tom's in school.
I'll surely be back to get the other 2.
And I apologize, Miss McLeod. Emma Wilson was right. You are a good teacher. You do care about these kids. And I'm going to see to it that all my neighbors find out what you're doing for us.
And what about your boy's future?
Miss McLeod, you convinced me that my son should get all the schooling he can. And if he wants to become a doctor, I think he ought to have the chance.
Your son has an excellent mind, and I'm sure he will make you very proud.
Good day, ma'am.
Stay with you.
McKendall Institute in Sumter, South Carolina.
The early bird today, your family must still be at the breakfast table.
I don't have a family, Mr. Sue. My parents died a long time ago. I live at a children's home.
Why, you're only a young girl, yet you talk as if you're older than I am.
But it's true. I wish I did have a family like the other children here at school.
Why, you're much more fortunate than many of your classmates.
How can you say that, Mr. Sue?
There are people at that children's home who love and care for you, just as parents do. If you look at it that way, every boy and girl is really your brother and sister.
I hadn't thought of it like that.
That glove was given to me when I graduated from Scottish Seminary. That I kept it ever since as a reminder of how big this world really is.
It looks very tiny to me. See, I can cover up a whole island with just one of my fingers.
Of course, Alice, we all know in reality this world is very large, and you mustn't forget it. Never limit your dreams.
Mr. Sue, I used to dream of being a doctor and having a mother and father of my own. We would live in a house of our own. I would have clothes nice to the other girls here at school. I waited a long time at the orphanage for someone to come and take me home, but nobody ever came.
Perhaps you should change your dream a little, Alice. I did when I was about 20 years old. You see, I didn't really want to be a teacher.
Mr. Sue, you're the best teacher I ever had.
When I hear one of my students say that, it makes me glad I changed my dream of being a missionary. Teachers get to help so many people.
I hope someday I can help a lot of people.
Committed my privilege to kick off a liberation show that made me the mother of civil rights movement. I am Rosa Parks.
Who am I? I was a restless, troubled youth. I found solace success in tennis. I was the first black player to win and complete both Wimbledon and Forest Hill. I am Althea Gibson.
Who am I? I was the first African American to make hair straightening products for blacks. It made me America's first black millionaire. Who am I? I am Madam C.J. Walker.
To end our program, I will do a poem entitled To Be Young, Gifted, and Black by Weldon J. Irvin Jr. To be young, gifted, and black, oh, what a lovely, precious dream. To be young, gifted, and black, open up your heart to what I mean. In the whole world, you know, there's a million boys and girls who are young, gifted, and black, and that's a fact. To be young, gifted, and black, oh, how I want to know the truth. There are times when I look back, and I am haunted by my youth. My joy of today is that we can all be proud to say, to be young, gifted, and black is where it's at, is where it's at, is where it's at.
All right.
Freshmen in the back, and Brother Barnes is going to close this out. And thank you again.